We were both working as unpaid interns when we set up Interns Anonymous. That was partly why we set it up. I was working in a charity and you were working...
I was working for a political think tank, and on my first day when I walked in, I was given the title of media director, and everyone in the office was an unpaid intern. So we thought, well, this is something that we need to research a little bit more. It started by wanting to catalogue experiences, and it was only when we started getting these experiences in and people started saying, hang on, I'm having a really shit time here, that we thought, okay, let's maybe develop this a bit more and try and get a bit campaigny, and try and get people talking about this issue and trying to
connecting it up to the economy, jobs, aspirations, realising how it kind of tapped into a lot of other, or how it connected to a lot of other problems that are around.
Yeah, and it started in the pub.
It did, it started in the pub.
We're in a pub and everyone around the table was, intelligent, they had good degrees from good universities, and all of them, including us, were working as unpaid interns or were trying to get unpaid work. And we thought, this is obviously something, pretty big. If this is happening in this pub, what about the next pub down the road? And this is something which is obviously affecting our generation a lot.
Yeah, I didn't really know when it had happened that this was the kind of route to a job, was that you had to do months and months of unpaid work. You sort of realised that the word internship, the concept of the internship was becoming more and more kind of the thing that everyone referred to solve youth unemployment.
I remember in the election, Nick Clegg did a speech about internships and saying we'll create 50,000 internships to solve youth unemployment, and the figures fabricated out of thin air, and it's just an easy way to get people off job seekers allowance.
The politicians were completely divorced from reality because they didn't kind of have a concept of what 3 months of unpaid work actually means to someone who's got a lot of debt, who doesn't have an income.
The only people who can afford to do internships are those with parents to support them, people based in London. If you're from Yorkshire like I am, I was only able to do my internship because I could stay with your parents without paying any rent. And if you're not in that fortunate position, then a whole range of potential careers are cut off from you.
What our survey has shown, and 250, 260 interns have taken it, and it's probably the biggest survey of interns, because one thing that it's very difficult to do is measure how many interns there are or what interns are doing, because they're completely off the radar. So what our survey has told us is that internships don't equal jobs. 80% of interns don't get a job where they've been interning. So the organisation doesn't see the internship as a kind of route to work. People are doing internships for a long time. At least 10% of internships are longer than 8 months, and at least 30% are longer than 6 months. And also, a lot of people are doing more than one, more than two, more than three, and some people are even doing 5, and that is...
It's a massive investment in time and in money, and statistically, it's not going to get you a job at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, internships don't get you a job. Jobs get you a job.
There was the girl from Slough who used to get the train into London every morning and did so for 7 months for going to a PR company, and she was told at the start of her internship that if she worked hard, there'd be a job at the end of it. At the end of 7 months, and hundreds, probably thousands of pounds in train fares, getting up at 6 in the morning to get in for 9 o'clock. She was told, "Oh, sorry, no, it's there's no job there anymore," and she was back. She had a lot of experience to go forward on future job interviews and things like that, but she was in a pretty shit situation. The reality is that there are so many stories out there which don't kind of even touch on the nightmares, but are just so depressing and just give people this almost fatalistic attitude towards trying to get a job, that okay, I've done 100 job applications and they've got me nowhere.
Did you ever get a feeling of, with the girl who was working for 7 months full time and getting the train in and not getting any money for the train? I sometimes just feel like, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And I know it's because you can't get a job, and I know it's because you want to put experience on your CV, but at the same time, surely, is there another way? I mean...
It's almost like just a desperation to keep moving forward. You can't feel like you're like standing still.
What we often see is that unpaid internships are justified because they are supposed to lead to jobs, or because graduates need this training. They need to be shown how to work properly, how to act in a working environment, and so internships are seen as a gateway to a job. But they're not a gateway to a job if there are no jobs. There's massive unemployment. In young people, in old people, we're being contacted by graduates who are trying to get a job, school leavers who are trying to get a job, and older people who've been fired and are trying to change their career and think that internships are the way for them to do that. But the problem is if there are no jobs, then no amount of internship training degrees are going to get you a job.
It seems almost simplistic to say, just more jobs, need more jobs. Can you just create jobs? Can you?
Yeah, I know, but I guess it's not really about worrying about whether it's simplistic, but it's just starting that kind of conversation, changing the emphasis from it's all about the individual, it's all about the graduates not having the soft skills, not being able to answer the telephone, and looking at it, in a kind of overall picture, which is there aren't any jobs. Well, there are some jobs, there aren't enough jobs. We know that, like, literally just they don't balance. The number of people unemployed, the number of jobs don't balance.
One of the things we started with when we started the site was to try and get people, or I thought anyway, try and get people sat around in their dinner tables at home, chatting about internships and realising that there was a problem. And if they happen to work in a business, they might be like, okay, yeah, let's stretch the budget and let's not get an intern in, let's get an entry-level job in. Let's get someone in, I don't know if you can say, we need loads of jobs, create loads of jobs. I think...
Well, you can say it.
I don't think there's a simple solution to it. I think you need to change people's attitudes and to realising...
It's a simple solution, but it's a kind of changing around what your ultimate aim is. So my ultimate aim is not that I will do a great internship and that will then give me tick the boxes and then I'll be able to get a job. If there isn't that job at the end, or there are 20 other people who've done a great internship and are going for the same type of job, so that isn't my aim. My aim is that there are 20 jobs so that the 20 people can get a job. Do you see what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Maybe it is completely ridiculous, but shouldn't your kind of dream world be based on what you actually want as opposed to based on what you think is possible? And maybe it is possible.